Hello and welcome to this video where I'm going to be talking about the Stevie Wonder LP, Songs in the Key of Life. It's this one. This is the vinyl copy of it. I've also got a CD of it which is not particularly well mastered, but it's not too bad. This video is going to be in two parts, and I'm also going to try and play you some of the music as well, so you don't have to listen to me talking all the time. And really, I suppose the purpose is to encourage people to listen to this LP. I know it's 30 odd years old, but it's still a brilliant album. It's just a monumental piece of work, and it does deserve to be evaluated even now. Okay, so let's start off with track one, which is called Love's in Need of Love Today. And it's about a radio DJ who is basically bemoaning the fact that people don't love each other enough, that there's basically too many nasty things going on, and let's try and do something about it. It sets the tone up for the rest of the LP, which explores some very dark areas, although Stevie Wonder, being who he is, and basically just a purveyor of quite sort of sappy romantic songs when he wanted to be. I mean, he did write I Just Called to Say I Love You for a start. It's not that dark. It's not dark in the way that Macy Gray, who did a similar thing with her LP on How Life Is in 1999, I think. I mean, her album was just really dark, explored murder and God knows what else, whereas this one is, it's overall quite an optimistic album, even though there are some very dark places. So that song, Love's in Need of Love Today, sets you up for the rest of it, really. And it just ends up with Give the World Love. Okay, now Have a Talk with God and Village Ghetto Land are really, I suppose, my proof of really saying that people don't write albums and then throw the songs up in the air and then, arrange them sort of in any old higgledy-piggledy fashion. They're put in that way on purpose, and these two songs have been grouped on purpose because the first one is a rather glib answer to life's problems, really. It's a woman's visit to a shrink, and the answer is have a talk with God. Many problems that we face today, have a talk with God. He's the only free psychiatrist, for a start. And I think it's a joke. I think it's, well, not a joke, but I think it's just a glib answer. Yes, it is bemoaning the lack of spirituality in society, but it's also saying that can be a very easy answer, especially when you compare it with the next song, which is Village Ghetto Land. Now, Village Ghetto Land was made on one of the world's first polyphonic synthesizers. That means you could play chords all at once. The monophonic synthesizers could only play one note at a time, which meant if you wanted to get a thick textured sound, you would have to spend ages multi-tracking, whereas you could do similar in just 2 or 3 tracks on a polyphonic synthesizer, and we've got it set up onto a string tone, so it sounds like a string quartet. And if you took the vocals off, it could well be a sort of Schubert-esque sort of string quartet or something. And the purpose of that is to contrast with the lyrics. The lyrics are gritty realism, and the effect being placed where they are is, would you like to come with me down a dead-end street? People buying dog food. You've got all these images set up here to contrast with the woman in the psychiatrist's office. And it's like, do you think these people haven't prayed enough? And it's just like saying, you haven't thought through the issues. We've then got this jazz workout called Contusion, with 2 drum kits on it. Now, although I don't know whether Stevie played the drums on this one, I need to check the liner notes, but Stevie Wonder himself was a good drummer, so and people quite often sort of, I suppose, neglect the drumming on Stevie's LPs, and it's usually very good, so listen out for the drums on that track. Followed by Sajuk, which is basically celebrating jazz, really. and it exhibits one of Stevie's trademarks, which is lots of instruments all playing in unison to give a really sort of knock your socks off tune. And you know, this bit, it's just totally infectious. Okay, so that is the end of side 1. Side 2, looking at my notes here, starts out with I Wish, which is Stevie Wonder looking back on his childhood, or, you know, is it his childhood, but, you know, the typical bloke's childhood really, and I want, you know, we didn't have it so good, but I wanted for nothing, and even at Christmas, if there were no presents, then we would still enjoy ourselves, that sort of thing. It contrasts with side 3, which starts off with Isn't She Lovely, which is about his own kid, and you get the feeling that, you know, although he had his behind whooped by his mother, that you would never have that in his, you know, for his child. And although the girl in the song starts calling out "beat me," they found it funny. Knocks Me Off My Feet, which is the second one on side 2, is a bit sappy. It's okay, I like it, but it's not brilliant. Okay, but the next song, Pastime Paradise, I'm going to spend a couple of minutes on because it really is good. It's my favourite off the LP. Starts up with this percussion build-up, okay, and then you hear a backwards gong, which leads you into the first verse. And in my notes about this, I wrote that Stevie singing about the backwardness of those who believe that one way to lead a nation is to racially discriminate. A pastime paradise, he's calling that, and it's past time as in eras gone by, not pastime like a hobby. Then we've got upper harmonies, and then we've got double-tracked vocals, describing as visionary those who believe in working towards an exclusive society that judges people by individual merits rather than race and colour. At 2:37, you have a group of Hare Krishna devotees singing the Maha Mantra, the Hare Krishna song, that is. And at 2:52, you then have them joined by a Christian gospel choir singing We Shall Overcome, all while he's singing his chorus. And I've spoken about this in another video. It's just superb, the effects that has. Needs a good system to really tease out what's going on there, but amazing. And it ends up with a gong at the end, the right way round. Summer Soft is not quite as sappy as Knocks Me Off My Feet. There's a bit of tension there, a couple that are on 1 minute, off the next. Okay, and then Ordinary Pain, which is another masterwork. It's a his and her point of view on the breakup of a relationship. Part 1 is him, and this is, you know, the wounded man, it's over and it's dreadful, more than just an ordinary pain. He's singing a girly ballad, but there's an attempt to display male bravado, and you've got the line, don't fool yourself, but tell no one else that it's more than just an ordinary, you know, and it's, please do feel sorry for me. Part 2 is her, and she, again, is more wounded than him, okay, and this is really aggression at its, you know, at its worst, really. We've got a repeated 2-line phrase, ordinary pain, ordinary pain, ordinary pain in the background, and each repetition of this 2-line phrase is hammering the nails in the coffin for this relationship. His boastfulness that he could have her was countered when she deprived him of sex, something he thought of as his right, and he therefore played away, leaving her home every night in tears until she got off with his best mate. The last lines of these really sum it up, really. Since one ain't good enough for you, then do yourself, see how you do. And that's basically like saying go yourself, really. It's you know, a really hard-hitting way to end the first LP, where there will be a natural break in the programme.